What is up, Heifas and friends? Welcome to Java and Journeys with Jillian. If you're new here to this channel, what's up? How are you doing? My name is Jillian and we are here at Animal Kingdom, and this is my first video of 2025. I hope you all are having a great start to the new year. Although 2025, girl, we thought it would start off better. It has been a very rocky start for so many people. But hopefully this video will bring some joy and some light to your life. We are actually here at Animal Kingdom right now on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. It is around 63 degrees, a little chilly, but I will always take colder weather here in Florida. You all know I do not like heat and humidity, so I'm going to enjoy what we love to call here Florida winter for as long as I possibly can. So come with me on this journey as we walk into Animal Kingdom. Still see the tree here, and it's funny to, I think, be at Disney and see that there are still holdovers from the Christmas season, which I love Christmas. Actually, I feel like the whole holiday season was a complete blur. So to come back and still see some of it out that you can enjoy, I absolutely love. And I did do some filming at Animal Kingdom just to show you all like what the lights look like, but I did that on my husband's iPhone, and essentially it is really hard as an Android user, and of course when you are trying to do any type of like communications or recordings alongside an iPhone, to get that information swapped over. So essentially, being an Android user, I'm also very much a PC user, so I haven't been able to actually download all of that footage to post it. But what I am hoping to do is for this Christmas season 2025 is to post it as more of a throwback. Now that we are full swing into January, I've posted all the footage, all the other footage that I've taken from the holiday season for your enjoyment, so check that out on my channel. But I'm ready to just go ahead and start, moving forward. So you all will catch my Animal Kingdom holiday video later this year. Let's go ahead and scan on in. So as I was saying at the top of my video, 2025, man, like, I hope you all had a great holiday season. I think for me, personally speaking, I went into this year, as most of us do, like thinking like, okay, how is 2025 going to be better, right? And it just feels as if it has been a very rough start to the year for so many people that have been impacted just with a lot of the things that are going on nationally here in the US, and with natural disasters and, attacks and things of that nature. And so I just want to send you all really good vibes for a continued upward start to the year with everything that's going on. I've said this before in prior videos, but I think it's so important to prioritize your mental health as best as possible. And I think to the extent that you can, like, find that community, embrace your community to help get you through the rough times. This is my first year here in Florida, and not that I'm going to do a comparison, because when you're going through especially like natural disasters and trying to rebuild and recover from that, thankfully when Hurricane Milton came through, like, my community was not affected in Winter Garden, the neighborhood that I directly live in. However, it was scary. I was absolutely terrified, and for me, the whole time I kept thinking, how do people go through this? Especially people who live like on the Gulf, people who live on the coast, people, for example, who live in Tampa, right? Like, how do they go through these things? And you may lose your home, or your home may get a lot of significant damage. How do you rebuild from that? And so I think the important thing is, what I've learned in all of it is to figure out ways of latching on to community, digging in and finding that strength to push through when these things happen in life. And so one of my outlets, I think, when I'm going through any type of stress, rough time, I feel extremely privileged and blessed to be in a place like Orlando where I can go to the parks, right? Like, this is one of my outlets when I am experiencing high times of stress, when I'm upset. And for me, it's hard to be at Disney and to be upset, although, slight change of subject, I have seen whole families really go at each other at Disney. So I guess it's all about perspective, right? For me, I feel as someone who is a season pass holder, I can come here, right? I'm not coming here to be stressed out and struggling to get on one ride or like running around and letting what's going on around me impact me. But I do feel for families, especially when it's the summer, it's hot, you're tired, and everyone's just aggravated, hungry, ready to just like get in bed and, you know, start lashing out at each other and all that. So, you know, Disney may be stressful for some other people, but for me, I absolutely love it. So that is what I am like willing on to all of you all, is that you're able to find those outlets and those forums to really just like get away and regain that sense of happiness, right? Or stress relief. So, speaking of stress relief, I am about to dig into the ultimate comfort food treat. Myself and my co-producer, we're gonna go to Flame Tree Barbecue, and we're actually going to get some macaroni and cheese with pulled pork, which should be delicious. At least this is what my co-producer says. So we placed a mobile order. We're going to go ahead and go in and check it out, and I'll let you all know how good the macaroni and cheese is. I actually have not eaten a lot of interesting foods here at Animal Kingdom, so I am looking forward to trying it out. And you can kind of see the menu a little bit overhead. We have some of our friends right here. But yeah, I am looking forward to trying out that pulled pork mac and cheese. Just picked up our order, and while we're walking toward our table, what I absolutely love about Animal Kingdom, of course, are the animals, right? So look at these interesting birds. I just absolutely love the wildlife, and I don't know, I am on like a bird kick, and I have been since I moved to Florida. So like in my home, for example, I have this like 2 portraits of these herons or cranes, and I absolutely love them, and I feel like it's very much a Florida vibe. And I feel like if I had to pick a spirit animal, one of my many spirit animals would have to be some type of a bird. I like the idea of being in flight and travel and going to different places. And I also secretly would love one day in life to maybe have a parrot. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I've been watching a lot of videos around how to care for parrots, different types of parrots, and what's in, you know, the parrot family and all of this. And so we'll see. That's not something I'm going to do right away, but it is something I am contemplating. And just so you see, like in this area, there's a lot of them over here. I just think that they look so majestic. And it's one of those many things that I actually do appreciate about Florida, is the fact that there are so many different types of species and wildlife. And while I don't love the mosquitoes, I actually do not mind the lizards and frogs, because that's what eats the insects, right? So anywho, for all the grief that I give Florida sometimes, I will say what I do actually really appreciate about living here is the fact that some of the wildlife is absolutely beautiful, stunning, and unique to the state of Florida. And here is the view of Everest from where we're sitting at as we are about to tuck into our macaroni and cheese, which you could see here. This is, again, like I said, like the ultimate comfort food that I'm looking forward to trying. My co-producer insists that it's delicious. We'll see. I'm a little skeptical, because you all know how I like my macaroni and cheese, but we're gonna try this out, and I'll let you all know what I think. And I want to give you all a different perspective of the seating area behind the Flame Tree quick service restaurant. This is just so serene, and I have never been back here, and I've been to Animal Kingdom quite a few times. And granted, it's not as busy right now, but to have the view of Everest, and then if you want something a bit more quiet that you can just come back and there's all these, you know, tables that you can sit at. This is just very nice. And for me, for right now, of course, at this very moment, this area has to be the quietest place in the park. Like, everyone's just chill. It's a very hush vibe. It's giving, I'm trying to find a moment of peace and eat my food in peace. Speaking of eating your food in peace, let's talk about the pulled pork macaroni and cheese. It was really good. And you all know I am not afraid to be honest about whether I like something at Disney or not, whether something's mediocre, whether it's worth your money. The cost of the pulled pork macaroni and cheese is around $13.95, which I feel like is not bad at all. And I split that with my co-producer and I feel good, right? Very filling, especially if you were to eat that by yourself. I feel like it's a good portion of food. You're not gonna feel so lethargic, like you can't walk or you can't move afterwards. So I thought it was really enjoyable. I would say the one point of critique that I have, but this is me, right? You may feel very differently when it comes to barbecue sauces. I like my barbecue sauces a bit more on the savory side, a bit more on the spicy or smoky side versus sweet. It is a sweet barbecue sauce. So if you're someone that's not feeling the sweet barbecue sauce, have them remove it. Although I think the barbecue sauce is what makes the meal complete alongside the coleslaw. The flavor of the macaroni and cheese was also good. For me, if I had to rate it out of 5, I would definitely give it a solid like 3.5 or 4. Something I would definitely get again, especially, let me tell you something, if they had options of different types of barbecue sauces you could put on that and they had something that was smoky, a bit more savory, a bit more spice, girl, it would be over. It would be absolutely over. So yes, I recommend get that pulled pork macaroni and cheese when you come to Animal Kingdom. Now, something else that I completely forgot to mention because I got caught up in my intro and I did wanted to acknowledge what was going on, you know, in the world around us right now, starting out in 2025. I will say part of the reason why I'm also here at Animal Kingdom is because we're coming upon the last couple of days that Dino Land is actually going to be open. They're going to be closing it down and doing some major renovations, which is exciting. Dino Land, which I'll show you all in just a little bit, is meant to be kind of like this roadside attraction, very much so catered toward the younger, you know, audience, very much meant for kids. And it's fun, but I do feel like it is getting a bit dated. I don't mind. I don't have a problem with the fact that Disney is going to turn it into something else alongside their preparation for hopefully, you know, bringing on that Indiana Jones ride that will eventually replace Dinosaur. I think these are all good changes that will eventually be coming to Animal Kingdom. But, you know, with Dino Land coming to extinction, as I will say, I wanted to come on out because I think, like, technically tonight is the last night it's open. And tomorrow will make it the last day that it's open. So I just wanted to capture what that looks like before it completely shuts down. I'm looking forward to showing that to you all. And before we though get to Dino Land, we are going to take the tram over to Rafiki's Planet Watch. I have never been to that attraction before, so I'm super excited to see what that's like. Essentially what Rafiki's Planet Watch is intended for is if you're interested in seeing some of the procedures that they're doing and the care services they're offering to the animals, like the surgical procedures, teeth cleanings, things like that, that is your time to really see that and kind of get like a behind the scenes peek and close-up look of what that's like. Also, there's a little bit of a petting zoo and an animation station. So I'm looking forward to peeping that out and seeing what that's like as someone who has never done that. And again, I've been to Animal Kingdom multiple times, but the thing is, Rafiki's Planet Watch is only open for a certain period of time in the day. So it's not open for the full length of time that Animal Kingdom is open. So if this is something that you're interested in, if you have kids or family members, or you yourself are a big animal lover, and you're like, oh my gosh, I would love to see some of the procedures that they're doing or pet some of the animals, then I would definitely highly recommend putting that on your list as something that you do toward the top of your day here at Animal Kingdom before it closes down for the day. So you see here the sign that says train service, and we're coming up to the main entrance or sign for the tram to get to Rafiki's. And I just absolutely cannot wait to see what this looks like. And hopefully if it's something that I find enjoyable, I will definitely come back and do it again. Let's go check it out. Hello.
I feel like that's it. I don't know.
Everyone, we have made it over to the pavilion over here. We've gotten off at Conservation Station, and now we're just taking a walk into the central area for Rafiki's Planet Watch. I hope you all enjoyed some of the footage from the train ride. I did not expect that we would see any rhinos, which is pretty cool. Again, as someone who loves like seeing animals, it's not every day you get a chance to see a rhino, so that was pretty awesome. Hi! And as we're walking here, I love the fact that they have a lot of, of course, like for your kids, a lot of fun facts and some sketch stations. peppered throughout, which is really nice. So again, if you have family or if you have kids that are very much into like animals, and especially learning about different types of animals from different regions, from different continents, primarily, even of course, like the biggest inspiration for all this is Lion King. So if you are a Lion King lover, or if you have kids that are enamored with Lion King, I highly would recommend not only just a visit to Animal Kingdom, but so far from what I'm seeing here, a chance to come over, sit down, relax, take a nice little short train ride, which I think earlier I was calling it a tram, but it's definitely a train. Come over here, and then you get to take this nice walk. And again, because it's in the 60s right now, it feels so cool and not crazy humid. As of right now, we are in, the middle of January at the moment. So I am absolutely loving this. All right, so we have made it to Conservation Station, and I'm looking forward to going inside and checking this out. Let's take a look together. Thank you. All good. And here is the animation experience, which is really cool. Y'all, I cannot draw to save my life, but what I appreciate about the animation studios that they have at, Disneyland, and especially at the different parks at Disney World, is that, of course, they take you through step by step. So you feel a little less mediocre, but sometimes you can create a sketch that's still like memorable enough because it's so just a bit above terrible that you just have to laugh at it. So this area that we're getting a glimpse of definitely feels a bit more like a lab, maybe where they do some blood testing or some blood work. And then here's where it looks like they do some of the scans and more the procedures on the animals. My co-producer was just telling me that typically they'll have a couple of procedures lined up, but those procedures happen earlier in the morning. So if you want to see them live in action, typically it's best to get here in the mornings. Oh, look at this gecko. Oh my God. I did not realize geckos could get that big. This apparently is a Chinese crocodile lizard. And then here is apparently a Puerto Rican boa. This is about the size I would expect out of a snake. And then in walking back from the viewing area where you see a lot of the reptiles, oh, you see Rafiki right here. So awesome. The kids are getting autographs. This is such a cool pavilion. But on to animals that you can pet. We're now like adjacent to the petting zoo area. I see a few animals in there. I actually don't know. Like I was thinking about maybe going in there. A lot of the animals are not actually out. I see a couple across the way. I think you all may see them too. But I think I'm good. I think I'm okay. I think maybe I'll do the petting zoo or like the petting later. It looks like one of them looks like a donkey. Let me see if I can get you all a little bit of a better shot. Okay, y'all, now walking around the other side, there are a few more animals out. So there's a goat right here, looks super cute. There is a donkey across the way. Again, it's kind of hard to see from this shot. And then there are some sheep. So a lot of the folks that are crowded around this pavilion over here, and you can hear it too, there are a lot of sheep and goats. I think I'm good. I will come in here. I'm not like afraid of goats or sheep or donkeys or anything like that, but I'm okay with being a spectator from back here for right now. And here's an up close shot of some of the goats. This is actually more of what I was expecting, was for them to be out in the open. Because at first I thought, oh, or I guess maybe a lot of them are kept behind like some form of partition, like what you see over there. But no, some of them are out roaming. It's so cute. And again, I definitely think if you are an animal lover, this is just the thing that I would totally gravitate toward. This and the safari, I think, are two of the more immersive experiences. And especially if you are not from a rural area, if you don't live on a farm. And then over across the way from the pet, I keep saying pet, they're not pets, but you know, the petting area is this kind of like enclosed seating pavilion where they have like a little educational video playing right here. And they do have a hand washing station too, if you're curious. So when you're leaving, of course, you have a station. And y'all, you know I do not play when it comes to germs. I'm constantly sanitizing, wiping my area, whatever. But like for real, when you are at like county fairs and they have like animal petting areas, when you're at Disney, when you're at Animal Kingdom more specifically, especially, and you go and you're petting like the goats and the sheep and whatnot, bish, you better wash your hands when you are done. Do not make me come for you. Like, nothing more drives me crazy than seeing someone walking out of that area after you've been petting some of the animals and you have not washed your hands. Have we not learned anything from the pandemic? Come on now. So come here, learn a little bit about conservation, see some animals, see a couple of procedures, pet some animals, wash your hands, and then we can continue to have a good day. With that being said, we're going to actually head back to the train. And then I think potentially try to catch the safari and of course go to Dino Land. All right, friends, so we just got off the train. We are headed to the safari because it is down to a 30-minute wait, and probably because it's getting closer to the evening, and Animal Kingdom typically closes anywhere between like 6, 7, 8 o'clock depending on the day. So of course, as we get closer to closing times, the wait times on the rides and attractions naturally start to drop. We actually got on some of the last trains that are going to be exiting Rafiki's Planet Watch. There are, at the time that we left, no more trains actually departing to Rafiki's Planet Watch. So again, definitely put that on your list of priorities to do first when you start your day out at Animal Kingdom. If you want to see some of the procedures, see some of the animals, pet some of the goats, sheep, like if you want to get involved in all that, learn a little bit about conservation. It was quite a fun space and area to be in. And you know what better than to leave Rafiki's Planet Watch and head straight to the safari to see even more animals. And literally right around the corner are the Kilimanjaro Safari attraction ride. And something else that my co-producer pointed out that I wanted to note to you all, similar to Rafiki's Planet Watch, the safari ride / attraction also has limited hours, right? So I would highly, highly, highly suggest when you come to Animal Kingdom, do Rafiki's Planet Watch, come over, do the safari in no particular order, right? But just do that toward the top of the day of your visit rather than trying to scramble to do it toward the end of the day, because right now they're only going to be open for maybe another 20 more minutes at the time that we're here. So we're going to go ahead and just wait in line. Like I said, about 30-minute wait, probably even shorter. And I will take you all on the safari ride with me. And as you can see across the short distance, our ride vehicles are starting to pull up here shortly. So looking forward to Otter going and taking a ride.
Ciao everyone.
All right, and our ride vehicle approaches. There have been a few technical difficulties, but looking forward to jumping on.
seguridad, permanezcan sentados y mantengan las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del vehículo. Y cuiden a sus niños. Gracias. Jumbo, everyone.
Okay, so psych. I thought that one of those two vehicles was going to be our ride vehicle. Obviously, the one full of people must have been from a different loading zone, and the one that just passes the loading zone just ahead of us. So hopefully our ride vehicle will actually be pulling up really shortly. The ride has been having some technical issues, so what was originally supposed to be around 30 minutes, it's been closer to 40, which is all good. Sometimes these things happen, but hopefully our Jeep will be coming soon, because sometimes if there are animals that scurry into the road, they have to wait, right? They're not going to disturb them or do anything crazy to frighten them off the beaten path. So I actually hear a Jeep coming, so hopefully this one is ours.
Experience bumps and sudden jolts on your safari adventure. To ensure a safe
I have a feeling. I think this one is it. Is it? Is it? Is it? Okay, no, it's not that one. But I'm pretty confident it's this one coming up ahead.
Once on board your safari transport, please remain seated with your hands, arms, feet and legs inside, and remember to watch your children.
All right, here we go. Let's get on.
Karabuni, everybody. That means welcome in Swahili, welcome aboard, and watch your step as you make your way onto the trail.
And then what is really cool too, once you get into the vehicle for the safaris, that they have all the different kind of animals you can see during the ride at the
We do
top.
have a couple of quick safety reminders. Everybody, the bongos, they're a little different. Both male and female bongos have horns. Coming up ahead, we're going to be passing by the black and white bird at the very top of the hill on the right-hand side. Looks like it's building a nest up there right now. That's a saddlebill stork. It's named for its yellow saddle marking you can see on the top of its bill. And they actually have a wingspan that can stretch up to 9.5 feet wide. For a comparison, the canopy above our truck is about 10 feet wide. So you can imagine a little less than that. They communicate with each other by rattling their bills. Over on the left-hand side, very top of the hill, there is the black rhinoceros there. Now, the black rhinoceros is actually one of the smaller rhino species in the world. They only get to be about 2,000 to 3,000 pounds, and I know that might not seem too small, but compared to other rhinos that can get up to double that size, that is pretty small as far as rhinos go. Over on the right-hand side, there's a few more bongos there, and looks like one of the saddlebill storks might have stolen some dinner from those bongos to help build its nest there. But those black rhinos, one that we passed by back there, they're also a pretty rare sight to see. If you've been on the safari before, you might know just how rare they are. See, years ago, there were only about 5,000 black rhinos in the world, but luckily since then, thanks to conservation efforts, that number has doubled. Now it's about 10,000. Still a rare sight, but a lot better than what it once was. Now we're going to make our way out of the Little Ituri Forest. We're going to head on over towards the Safi River. The Safi River is home to some more aquatic animals, of course, and some of these animals are going to be nocturnal as well. Some pretty sensitive skin. They can sunburn, so they usually spend their days submerged underwater, really only coming up to graze at night. In fact, over on the left-hand side, looks like one of the younger ones and maybe even one of the older ones have decided now's a perfect time to make their way, take a nap out on the banks here. Now the hippos, since they are nocturnal, they can hold their breath for several minutes at a time. Every few minutes they'll float on up to the surface of the water, they'll take a breath of air, sink back down to the bottom. Even if they're asleep, it's an instinct that they have. They also don't really like to swim to get around. They can swim, but they prefer to walk or even run along the bottom of the water. Helps them to move around a little easier. Actually, underwater they can run at speeds of up to 15 miles an hour. Over on the left-hand side, way over by the banks, it's a little hard to see. Then there's one in the water as well. There's the Nile crocodiles there. Now, the Nile crocodile is one of the largest crocodilian species in all of Africa. Those crocodiles can get to be anywhere from 16 to 18 feet long on average. They can weigh anywhere from 300 to 500 pounds. They also have one of the strongest bite forces out of any animals in the animal kingdom, and yet despite that, those crocodiles can be very gentle parents. In fact, the mother and father crocodiles, they'll both hold their eggs in their mouths, and not only does that help the eggs to keep them protected, they'll rock the eggs back and forth, helping them. First animal we're going to be passing by, looks like there's a whole lot of the Hartman's mountain zebras coming up here on the right-hand side. We'll get a pretty good look at the rough and rocky terrain of a mountain. Now coming up ahead on the left here, we're passing by a whole group of wildebeest. We'll probably find a few more wildebeest spread out here on the savannah. They are by far the most numerous animals that we'll find out here. Now a group of wildebeest is commonly referred to as a confusion, and they probably get that nickname because they are stampeding animals. So whenever one wildebeest runs off, the others will follow, even if they aren't really sure why it is that they're running. And those wildebeest, they get their name from the Afrikaans words for wild beast. They have another name in Swahili. That name is spelled G-N-U. It's pronounced new. They get that name from the noise that they make. As they travel, they'll pick up more and more wildebeest, eventually reaching numbers as large as 1.5 million. These migratory herds can stretch anywhere from 500 to 1,000 miles long. Here on the right, we're getting another pretty good look at the zebras there, and then also going to be passing right by these Ankole cattle. That's the cows with the giant horns on their heads, also named the Watusi cattle after the Watusi tribe. Now, their horns can get anywhere from 5 to 6 feet long from tip to tip. They might look pretty heavy, but they're actually mostly hollow on the inside. They have a honeycomb-like structure on the inside of their horns that traps air, helps with air circulation, keeps them nice and cool, especially during hot days out here. It's kind of like having an air conditioner strapped to their heads. And over on that right-hand side, also going to be passing right. Go to bed. You'll actually all face diagonally away from each other. That way they can make sure that every area is covered and make sure they're watching over every direction there. And all the way up at the top of the hill, we're going to be passing by a couple of baobab trees here. Now these trees have the nickname the upside down tree, and you can probably tell why. Look like they're flipped upside down with the roots in the air. Those trees are very important to the animals on the savannah. They remain leafless for the 9 months of dry seasons of the year. In fact, when watering holes dry up, animals will journey over to find those trees just so they can poke holes in their trunks and get some of that water out for themselves. Gives the tree one more nickname, the Tree of Life. Over on the left-hand side, we're going to be passing by some flamingos now. Now, as we make our way past this area, also keep an eye on their island, especially the inside lower dirt section. Might be a familiar shape there. But these here are greater flamingos. They are the largest and lightest pink out of any flamingo species. They do not hatch pink, they hatch gray. Then they get their pink color about a year later based off their diet consisting mostly of brine shrimp. Now the brine shrimp is very rich in a chemical called carotene, so the more shrimp they eat, the more carotene they get. The more carotene they get, the more pink they become. Now those flamingos, they can also flock together in numbers as large as cheetah. Now, as it gets a little later, the cheetahs are going to become a little less and less active. I'd like to point out, in front of the warden's post on that left-hand side, you'll see that yellow triangle box. It's held up by a couple of poles there. It's actually an example of a beehive, very similar to the ones that the farmers in Kenya would like to use to keep elephants away from their farms. See, the farmers in Kenya...
All right, friends, so that concludes our safari ride, and unfortunately, we didn't see as many animals as I'd hoped, but also it's getting toward the evening time over here. A lot of the animals are tucked away, probably resting somewhere, so still a good time. Now, for the pièce de résistance, we are going to head over to Dino Land right now for its last evening open. So I'm excited to check it out and see and enjoy and experience Dino Land before it goes bye-bye. So if you don't know by now, Animal Kingdom also, as the sun starts to set, is super beautiful and gorgeous. As we're making our way toward Dino City, USA. Okay, the cart that was walking alongside me was a little loud, so I just wanted to pause for 2 seconds. But what I was going to say is, as we're making our way down, I'll show you a little bit of the evening shots. And also, because it is much cooler here in Florida for right now, I, for one, would love to have a coffee because, once again, you all know what's up. This is Java and Journeys with Jillian, so you know that we have to get our coffee on. You know we have to get our caffeine on. Unfortunately, you all know how I feel about Joffrey's. We have a very tumultuous relationship. It is very hit or miss. Joffrey sometimes can do me good, and more often than not, it does me a little bit dirty. So I may stop by Joffrey's to see what they have along the way. And hopefully, if the coffee drink that I get ends up not being good, I can at least look around, look at the view, and that will make up for the mediocre coffee. My goodness, y'all. Like, I know, you're like, Heffa, please. Like, first world problems. And it is true, right? But you all know I'm a bit of a coffee snob, okay? Like, I have to have some good coffee. I know what's up in Disney, but y'all, I just wish that Joffrey's was a little bit better. I'm like, come on, just try a little harder. And before Joffrey's got acquired by Disney, or at least formed their partnership with Disney, not acquisition, as my co-producer over on the side was shaking his head at me, excuse me. As they formed their partnership with Disney, apparently they used to be really good, right? I mean, obviously they ended up with a partnership with Disney for a reason, but as all partnerships go, and sometimes in circumstances where there are mergers and acquisitions, things change, right? Because then you have to really start thinking about how you export your good or service to the masses, so to speak. So, you know, I would like to see Joffrey's up their game a little bit more, because for me, it's not great. But also, I'm the same person that has lived in the Pacific Northwest for about 10 years, and that's what further spawned my love for coffee. And it gets no better than the Pacific Northwest when it comes to coffee. The home of Starbucks is Seattle, nonetheless. And y'all know, even Starbucks is questionable, although their merch, that's where my coin goes. And I do have some Starbucks favorites, so I'm not a hater on Starbucks. I love Starbucks. But if you ever have the fortune of going to Portland or Seattle, I would highly encourage you, go to some of the local shops, try different coffee shops, and really you should do that no matter where you go. But it's night and day difference, my friends, night and day difference. But let's see if we can hunt down some good coffee. I'm still gonna take you all along so you can see the beautiful views and sights. And this is what I think makes Animal Kingdom truly special, alongside seeing the animals and some of the rides that are here, just the evenings. Like, if you have the opportunity to come out, if you find yourself in Orlando, or if you're someone with a season pass, but typically you don't think to go to Animal Kingdom in the evening because of the odd hours, I would still say, like, make a trip out here, because the evening time is truly the best. Okay, so we have made it over to one of the quick service stands here, and I am going to check out the kind of drinks they have and see what coffee I want to get. And you'll notice some of the other featured drinks here, which looks pretty good. They also have this frozen lions cappuccino. It is pretty chilly though, so I think I'm going to avoid any of the cold drinks right now and stick with maybe a hot hazelnut latte. That sounds pretty good. And while I'm waiting for the hazelnut latte to be ready, I saw this chocolate muffin, and of course my eyes got super big. I love a good chocolate muffin, and you know who has a good one? Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, which they don't have those here in Florida. They have them mostly on the West Coast. Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf has a mad good chocolate muffin, and I think Pete's Coffee as well. But anywho, I'm going to take a bite of this and let you know if it's any good. All right, friends, we have our hazelnut latte. Cheers. And thank you for joining this journey with me this evening. You know, it's okay. It's fine. This is not the worst Joffrey's drink I've had. So thankfully, I feel like this is something that I can easily drink. But I will say, it's still just, it misses the mark. But I'll tell you that one of the big differences is that this is coming straight from a machine, right? So it's all kind of like, so to speak, pre-made. It's not like it's fresh espresso beans that are being freshly ground and extracted. So it's all good. But y'all, check out this view. Do you see Everest? I will say, I feel like my hazelnut latte has been enhanced. Like, come on now. Absolutely gorgeous. And that's what I'm saying. This is what it's all about. Being able to grab your treat, your favorite drink, taking a walk around Animal Kingdom and enjoying the views like this. It truly, sometimes it feels like it's these little moments in life where, you know, things just feel good. Y'all, have to say, I don't think I've ever seen Everest look this gorgeous at night. And it's a combination of of course, the lighting, and with the sun finally setting and going down, we've just caught this at the right time. But let's go ahead and continue our journey on to Dino Land. That was really nice. So what an unexpected surprise. And like I said, I feel like my coffee instantly tastes a little bit better. You're like, nah, Heffa, you already said that it was subpar. It is subpar hazelnut latte. It is very much a subpar latte, but you know, this is not the worst off-use drink that I've had. This one is the least drinkable. I've had a couple that I've straight up had to toss, and my wallet cried each and every time I've had to do it. I'll also say too, to be fair to Joffrey's, depending on the season, and especially when we're in the throes of the holidays or when there's Halloween or, you know, anything like that going on, Joffrey's does have really good ground coffee that you can buy. I actually am all for that, especially if you have like a Keurig or if your coffee machine has a setting where you can change the strength of your coffee. I highly recommend doing that because sometimes that's just as good. And check out again how beautiful this view is as we're walking through. This is just absolutely gorgeous. Well, these views are really just so breathtaking. And your girl is not getting on Everest tonight. It is a bit too chilly right now. Otherwise, it's so pretty, and not that it changes the experience, you know, on the look of Everest in terms of the ride. The ride is a great ride. It's a lot of fun. If you've never ridden Everest, do it. And as someone that is prone to motion sickness, it's perfect. It's not, you know, none of the rides, coasters here at Disney are crazy intense. They're all pretty much family friendly for the most part. So if you're able, if you are someone that's like hesitant, jump on it. It's not going to be anything to the extent of, like, by comparison, Six Flags. Those roller coasters are way too intense for me. I can't do it. My spleen will literally like come out of my throat. So I can't get on those roller coasters, but I can do pretty much any Disney ride, and that one is so much fun. So I highly recommend it, and also do it at night. You can't see a thing. It's great fun. All right, everyone, we are approaching Dino Land, and it's so surreal that this is going to be pretty much like one of the last evenings, because tonight Animal Kingdom closes at 7, but tomorrow it closes at 6. So I was contemplating back and forth earlier today, like, should I go out today? Should I go out tomorrow? And I just like went ahead and decided, let's just go ahead. Let's go out. Let's see this attraction the day before the official closing, because I don't know realistically how crazy it's going to be here tomorrow. And anytime big attractions start to change over at Disney and you know they're going to shut down, and especially when it's the circumstance that they're going to be permanently closed, a lot of folks come out the night before. So I figure let's do the evening before. Really, I feel like this is like the last evening, and let's just enjoy it and have a good time, while hopefully it's not going to be as crowded as I imagine it will be tomorrow. And as the sign says right here, Dusty Old Bones getting y'all down. Come on over to the Dino Rama. And again, I will say that it's not, for me, been one of those situations where I have felt this like major attachment. There are some folks that are, you know, Disney heads, and they feel very attached to certain attractions. For me, this one isn't it. I'm actually happy to see Disney evolve, because for the longest time with Dino Land, I think for me, it just kind of, I don't know, it's charming, but it, for me, felt a bit dated. But that's like the point of this, right? It's supposed to be like your hokey side road attraction. You know, you're on a road trip with friends, family. You're in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden you see an attraction for Dino Rama, you pull over, you get out, and you have a good time. That's the whole theme. And they capture the theme pretty well, my ad. But of course, it's Disney. When is Disney not on point with their theming? Well, okay, for the most part, they're on point with their theming. Sometimes there's some misses, but for the most part, come on now. We got to give Disney their props. And look at like the signs here. And especially this one at the top, I'll try to zoom in on. But it basically says going out of existence sale. I don't know if you all can see that. But yeah, it's really sad to see that Dino Land is going to be extinct. So we're going to enjoy it while we can. So let's go ahead and head into Dino Rama. So before we actually head into Dino Rama, let's take a quick peek at the gift shop here. And of course, one of the themes that has been quite popular in terms of Disney merchandise has been their treats and eats themed merchandise. And this is hit or miss for me. I have these ears, which I think are super adorable, the churros. But the other merch, this one, these specifically are a bit too busy for me, but it's a lot of fun, right? And I love all the Disney treats. So I highly recommend like checking that merch out. And you all know, I've said this to you before, go online first before you buy anything in any of the stores. Go online, see if it's available, because 9 times out of 10, if it's available online, it's probably going to go on sale. And because Disney is constantly releasing new lines of merchandise, it's good to just know that things always go on sale. So if you could be patient, I encourage being patient. And then look at the view from this angle of the store. I will say, I've always thought that this gift shop here, adjacent to Dino Rama, has always just been super cute. And typically when they've had like the pass holder magnet pickups, this is the shop you would go to do that. So I will miss this little shop. But again, I'm always happy to see Disney make their choices to evolve their parks and keep them fresh and keep them updated. And I do think that there are going to be a lot of great things to come with the changes that they're going to make to this area. And then as well as Dinosaur. All right, now that we have exited the gift shop, let's go through Dino Rama. Let's take a walk and then we'll hop on a ride and we will be exiting out of Animal Kingdom because they will be closing here very soon. Yeah, so basically, this section of the park is going to be closed for some time while they convert it over. Basically, what's going to come back over here is going to be an Encanto themed. But it would be nice for them to give more love and attention to Encanto because, you know, they've done some things with Coco and you have Miguel, but not really a lot with Encanto. And so I actually am all for, like I said, embracing that change and that evolution. And then through the calendar year, Dinosaur is going to be open. But starting next year, 2026, Dinosaur is going to shut down and they're going to convert that over to Indiana Jones. And you all know that that makes sense. And if you've never ridden Indiana Jones, look at the footage. There are a lot of videos out there that show you what that ride looks like at Disneyland. I highly, highly, highly recommend if you ever find yourself at Disneyland, hop on Indiana Jones. So with this, of course, being like the roadside attraction theming, you'll see these little stalls and stations, of course, to play carnival games, right? And what was going on was that because this is coming to a close, a lot of folks would play these games to get some of the merch that is specific to Dino Land. But a lot of that merch is now no longer available. So you'll see that it's been replaced by something that's a bit more generic. So, you know, what's the point of them reordering a lot of that when they know it's going to shut down? But, and I've actually never played any of these games because like I said before, I've never really spent a lot of time in Dino Land because I never felt that it was like for me as someone who is an adult. But now that I'm walking back here, which I've actually, this is the first time I've ever walked in this back corner area, I realized that like really, I mean, there's something for everyone, right? If you are like my sister, you like these carnival games, like to win prizes, there's something back here that you can play. But then also to me, it kind of feels like a lot of wasted space as well. So again, I'm happy to see that they're evolving this space and they're going to give Encanto the attention it deserves. Okay, and my co-producer was just telling me that the reason why the space seems so dead back here is because there actually used to be a roller coaster in this section. So actually over here to the left side that we're about to walk by. So that's why it feels very empty, because I was like looking around, and once I got a great look, I was just like, you know what? It feels like there could be a lot more done, like in terms of real estate. So you will see this dead space that's over here in the corner. So now it makes a lot of sense of why they are going to go ahead and convert this over. And again, I cannot wait until they close down Dinosaur, as much like RIP Dinosaur. And again, it's going to be open throughout the 2025 calendar year. But in 2026, I'm excited to see them actually convert that over to Indiana Jones. It is going to be the bomb, and I think more people are going to come out to Animal Kingdom for that ride, and it makes all the sense in the world that they put Indiana Jones here. As you all can see directly behind me over here, we are actually going to take our last ride on Triceratops Spin. Come with us. And here's a POV of the ride from the queue. And as you can see, it's pretty much Dumbo, but with Triceratops. So, and who doesn't love to ride a good Triceratops while it's here? And what's cool about this, similar to Dumbo, is that there's a little control in there so you can actually move your seat either up or down. And you can get a bit of a closer look up now that the ride is changing out. And of course, here's an even better view now that we are next up to load. Such a cute ride. And fun fact, this will be my second time riding Triceratops Spin. Again, I was able to ride it for the first time when I came here before Christmas, when everything was like fully decorated. And I will post that photo, like I said, when we get closer to the holiday season 2025. But this will be my second time getting on this one, and yet I have never been on Dumbo before, which is quite amusing. At some point one day in life I'll get on Dumbo, but for now we're just going to enjoy our very last ride on the Triceratops Spin. And here is our Triceratops friend right now. We are number 10, and ironically enough, he is right here waiting for us to get on. Okay, so we are on Triceratops ride, and I'll show you a little bit of what it looks like on the interior. So here's the switch I was just mentioning that you can lift up to go all the way up or down, so you can adjust the height. Not that it really matters anymore. Honestly, Dumbo is the same way, so hopefully you'll find this helpful considering that this is the last day this ride is going to be open.
Riders in the back row,
and then you can see a bit of the view from here.
Forward or backward. Ready? And let's go for a spin.
All right, let's go, everyone. We are going up, and here's the view from the top, and we're going to get a little bit more height here. Well, that was our last ride on Triceratops Spin. So it's very apt and fitting to see this on the way out from Chester and Hester. See you real soon. This was fun. And as someone who doesn't have too big of an attachment to Dino Land USA, I will say this was a very adorable attraction. And it was nice to just get an opportunity to walk back here, check it out, and see what it's like. Given that this is the last weekend and really the last evening that this attraction is going to be open. And then before we start making our way back to the front, I also, for one last time, wanted to show you all what it looks like toward the back side of the gift shop. So you have these really nice signs, and again, this is so apt for the theme. But I wanted to point this one out, where it says, when visiting Diggs County, see the Dino Institute. And then you see in the corner here, but if you want some real fun, visit Dino Rama. That's so hilarious to kind of see that like painted over by Chester and Hester. But I really love and will miss the theming. And here's a bit of a closer view. Again, I love this. Painted over. Let me tell you all something. Chester and Hester were like, nah, baby, inflation. 50 cents, you better forget about it. It's $2, ma'am. Miss Mamas. We're gonna give you all the fun you need, but you know inflation is real. And here's one more full side shot of Dino Land USA. And also what I wanted to point out is that they would have Donald meet and greets over here, Donald's Dino Bash. And of course, like I said, you still see some Christmas decor up and around through the park. And I am going to miss the holidays. That's the hardest part about transitioning to the start of the year, is that the kind of like holiday magic starts to fade. But I love Christmas lights. I've always loved Christmas lights ever since I was a child. I mean, who doesn't, right? Like, Christmas lights can be so beautiful and just add a festive vibe to anything and everything. And here's a bit of a closer view before we fully exit. And this is actually one of the restaurants over here.
So excited by these fabulous
and again, I have not really eaten at a lot of places back in Animal Kingdom. The pulled pork barbecue macaroni and cheese was actually one of the first like full meals that I've had here. And what a delicious way to like start my quote unquote culinary adventure here at Animal Kingdom. Because, you know, a lot of food at Disney can be hit or miss. Again, that one I definitely think is a hit. And then here we are over by the Boneyard. And look at the colorful dinosaur bones all lit up. So much fun, so cute. And I really like that. And what a great like thing to see on the way out. And with that being said, as we make our way toward the exit, because Animal Kingdom is officially closed at this point, thank you all for joining me on this journey. It was fun being able to go to Dino Land USA and just check it out, considering this is the last weekend that it's going to be open. Really, I feel like this is the last full evening, considering that Animal Kingdom is closing at 6 o'clock tomorrow. It was really nice to be able to just check it out, grab some pictures, and I can't wait to see how that space evolves. And again, as I said toward the top of my video, 2025 has not started out the best for a lot of us. There's a lot of things going on. So I just want to emphasize again, lean into those communities for a support system, lean into your friends, lean into your family. And if you're someone that feels like maybe you don't have a lot of friends, maybe you don't have family you can rely on, find those communities, right? Also, I hope that though I know my channel and my content is not going to solve global problems, I really do hope it's a source of entertainment that you can use to just escape a little bit. You know, I am always here for you. And I appreciate you following me along on these journeys that we have together. So heck, feel free to find community here at this channel. I welcome you with open arms and a strong palate for caffeinated beverages. So with that being said, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, comment, talk about how you've spent the holidays. What are you looking forward to in 2025? And with that being said, my name is Jillian, once again, signing out from Animal Kingdom. Looking forward to catching you on the next journey. Have a good evening.